Hey everyone, so let's talk about change. In any organization, it's not really an event, is it? It's more like a constant current. You've got small waves, you've got massive ones, but learning how to navigate them, well, that's one of the most critical skills a leader can have. So today, we're going to break down how to not just survive change, but to actually master it. Let's get into it. But before we learn how to ride that wave, we have to understand why so many people wipe out. Just look at this number. A staggering 70% of all major change initiatives fail. No, that's not a typo. 70%. So what's going on here? Is it bad ideas? Poor strategy? Well, the answer is usually something far more human and way more powerful. The real culprit is resistance. It's kind of like an iceberg, right? The change itself, the new software, the new org chart, that's just the tip you can see above the water. The real danger, the massive, unseen part hiding just below the surface, is the human emotional reaction to that change, and that is what sinks the ship. Okay, so if we're going to get through this, we first have to really understand what we're up against. Let's take a closer look at this so-called wall of resistance. So here's the formal definition, and I want you to notice two really key parts here: emotional or behavioral, and real or imagined threats. See, the response can be emotional. We're talking fear, anxiety, frustration. Or it can be behavioral, people actively or even passively undermining the change. And crucially, the threat doesn't even have to be real. If people perceive a threat to their job, their status, or just their daily routine, the resistance is going to be very, very real. So what does this resistance actually look like in the wild? Well, you've got your active opposition. That's the easy one to spot. But honestly, the more dangerous forms are way more subtle. Take passive resistance. Man, this one's a silent killer. It's that silent non-compliance, the oops, I forgot to use the new system, the deadlines that just mysteriously keep slipping. Okay, so we've defined the problem. It's big, it's human, and yeah, it's messy. But here's the good news. It is not unbeatable. We have a toolkit for this, and it's not about using brute force, it's about skill, it's about strategy, and it's about having the right tools to chart a course through these turbulent waters. And here they are. These are the 4 core tools in our kit. We're going to learn how to overcome opposition, how to really engage employees in the process, how to implement change in smart, manageable stages, and of course, how to communicate everything effectively. Think of these as our 4 pillars for success. All right, let's open up the toolkit. We're going to break down each of these 4 strategies one by one and really see how you can put them to work. First up, overcoming opposition. And right away, let's be super clear about this. This does not mean crushing dissent or winning every single argument. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset toward criticism. This quote just nails that new mindset perfectly. The goal isn't to shut people up, it's to understand them. Because here's the secret. Opposition contains valuable data. Your loudest critics might just be pointing out a fatal flaw in the plan that everyone else was too polite to mention. Listening isn't weakness, it's strategic intelligence gathering. And that leads us directly into our second tool, engage employees. Because once you actually start listening, the next logical step is to get them involved. This is how you move from having people who passively receive a change to creating active partners and making it happen. And this chart shows you exactly how to do it. Just look at the biggest slice of that pie. A full 40% of engagement comes from simply involving people in the planning phase. It is not enough to just announce a change. You have to give people a stake in creating it. You combine that with open feedback and real empowerment, and suddenly you have a team that's invested in success. Okay, so you're listening, you're engaging. Now for tool number 3, which is all about timing and execution. Implement in stages. The absolute key here is to avoid the big bang approach, that massive one-day shock to the system. You gotta think more like a strategist. A timeline like this just shows the power of a phased rollout. You start small in Q1 with a pilot program. Think of it as your lab. You test things out, you gather real-world feedback, you find the flaws before they become total disasters. Then you use what you learned to inform a wider rollout. By the time you get to full implementation, you're not guessing anymore. You've de-risked the whole process, you've eased anxieties, and you've built some real positive momentum. And finally, our 4th tool. This is the glue that holds everything else together. Communicate effectively. Seriously, without this, the other 3 tools just fall apart. Think of it as the constant, steady drumbeat that keeps the entire team marching in the same direction. This slide lays out the difference perfectly.
The ineffective approach, it's a single, top-down order with a fuzzy rationale. The effective one, it's a continuous two-way conversation. The most crucial point here is communicating the why. People have to understand the purpose behind the change, not just the mechanics. It's about making it a dialogue, not a monologue, a conversation, not a command.
So, that's the 4-part toolkit. Overcome, engage, implement, and communicate. But what's the philosophy that ties them all together? Well, it really comes down to a fundamental shift in how you see your role as a leader during change. And this is the heart of it all. Managing change isn't about being the captain who just barks orders and forces the ship towards some destination. No, it's about being the skilled navigator, the one who uses the tools to guide the entire crew with them on the journey, through all the currents, expected and unexpected. So there you have it. You have the toolkit. The strategies are right here in your hands. The only question left is the one you've got to answer for yourself. When you look at the currents of change swirling in your work, your team, or even in your own life, which one are you going to navigate first?